When I talk about using precious and semi-precious metals as investments to hedge your purchasing power against inflation, people tell me that nothing has value unless the government says it does. Well, why does a $20 gold piece no longer cost $20, but instead much, much more? Why did the price of silver go up to where the U.S. Mint could no longer make silver dimes, quarters, half dollars, and dollars? Why did the price of copper go up so much that they had to discontinue making 95% pure copper pennies and change to a zinc penny, which now the price of zinc is getting too expensive, so they're talking about discontinuing the penny altogether because, well, can't even afford cheap zinc. As well as tests to change the composition of the U.S. nickel from 75% copper and 25% nickel to some new alloy. Does that sound like the government can control the price of metals to you? Okay, guys, as in the copper video, I didn't see a video that went over all the points about nickels that I wanted done, covered in a single video, so I decided I'd make that video myself. Now, again, if you don't believe in this, then don't watch. There's many people that just come into these videos, leave a negative comment, or just tell me this is stupid. By their arguments, you can tell I have no idea what they're talking about. And, you know, if you're here for that reason, then get a life. I don't waste my time looking for videos in the boogeyman and then try to disprove him or say how stupid he is. I don't waste my time on something I don't believe in. So, you know, if that's you, get a life. Go watch something else. If you're here to learn how to use nickel as a 100% risk-free investment, well then let's do that. Nickel is an industrial and a base metal, right? Like copper. And like copper, in some circles it's seen as a semi-precious metal. According to the Nickel Institute, nickel is widely used in over 300,000 products for the consumer. That's industrial, military, transport, aerospace, marine, and architectural purposes. It's used in cookware like pots and pans, and all kinds of cookware, kitchen sinks, buildings, food processing equipment, medical equipment, chemical plants. You need it to make stainless steel, which of course has thousands of uses on its own. Of course, coins, electronics, any portable electronic device, right? Because they have batteries. Batteries have nickel, so that means if it's a portable electronic device, that means there's nickel in there. And you've got China and India. They're having higher living standards, right? More electronics. You need it for hybrid cars. You need it for all kinds of stuff. So you got two massive populations having higher living standards, and they need nickel. And nickel is not like, you know, steel. Steel is made from iron, and that's one of the most abundant, if not the most abundant metal in the Earth's crust. Nickel, on the other hand, is more rare. So that's why it's valuable. When precious metals go up in value, they create a trickle-down effect to other metals, to like base metals, as investments. So, I recommend these because they're very easy. For the most part, nickels are 75% copper and 25% nickel. I don't think it's a good idea to buy boxes and boxes of nickels to store. I think if you have that kind of money, it would be much better spent buying U.S. junk, silver, dimes, and quarters. But it's a good idea to have some set aside, especially from your pocket change like I've done. I just got asked for this empty box, and I throw my nickels in it, and there you go. These coins have no premium. I mean, a nickel costs you a nickel. 5 cents is nothing to it. You don't have to sort dates like you do with copper. And, I mean, if you were to go to the gas station, liquor store, whatever, the grocery store, bank, anybody, anywhere, it doesn't matter. You ask for a roll, you'll probably get one, without any kind of upcharge. I'd be very surprised. If you do feel like checking dates, well then, look for older nickels that are kind of slick. If it's from 1942, there's a 50-50 shot that it's made of silver, because in 1942, in the mid part of the year, they changed the composition from the standard to 35% silver and I believe 40% magnesium. So you want to put those in your own stash. Pretty rare, but you do come across them every now and then. See, during World War II, nickel was used for armor on heavy vehicles like tanks and stuff like that. And that's what we call now Jefferson War nickels. Now, if you do go to the bank and get a roll every now and then, once in a blue moon, you should also ask for other coins. If you get an Eisenhower dollar with an S mint, that is a San Francisco printed coin, minted coin. It's a proof dollar. You don't find them very often, but they're out there. That will be made of 40% silver. Any Eisenhowers you get without that S mint, just put them aside, along with all Susan B. Anthony dollars, any bicentennial quarters, any half dollars, say 1971 to present, presidential dollars, Sacagawea dollars, and any foreign coin you come across. Put them together on like a junk drawer on eBay. It's like a modern day treasure hunt. And people love that stuff, right? Say, even if it's not particularly valuable, some people get it for their kids. You know, their kids don't know. Young kids, you know, get into coin collecting. If they lost them, it wouldn't be a big deal. No big deal on that. Not a lot of money lost, but they look kind of cool. Some people love it. A modern day treasure hunt. You take the money and you recycle it into U.S. junk silver, dimes, and quarters. Now, they're talking about changing the composition of the nickel. There's already tests being out there for new alloys. You want to get them before that happens, right? Gresham's law states that good money drives out bad. If two coins have the same face value but made of different metals, where one would be more valuable metal than the other, the coin composed of the cheaper metal will continue in circulation to bear payment, while the coin made of the more expensive metal will be exported or hoarded until they eventually disappear. This is what happened to silver coins. This is what's happening to copper pennies right now, and these will be next. You want to have them before everybody else does. And I'm going to go over the numbers at the end of the video. Again, nickels are a great way to go. There's no premium, face value, right? No risk. They have the same weight and purity. And they have the same strength as junk silver. Everybody would know that this is a standard weight and purity, right? So if you know the value of one nickel, you know the value of 1,000. That's predetermined. Melting them down is stupid, man. I think that even if it was legal, it's still stupid. Right now, you can recognize it. If you came in with some blob of metal, how the hell are you going to know what it's worth? You could test it, but still, this is much more simple, and you can use this for day-to-day transactions if need be, if things got really bad. Say silver and gold, you know, they're way too expensive. You want to buy some eggs. Well, are you going to cut up your silver rounds or coins or something? Even in that kind of hardship, I think it'd be a bad idea when you can just use something like this or a copper penny. You can use this for small day-to-day transactions, right? So that's, I mean, it's recognizable right there. People will learn pretty quickly about that and, you know, adjust to it. Something I don't hear anybody talk about is that in the past, when a country has went through hyperinflation, some ways the nations deal with this, the staggering numbers, is to simply drop zeros. And this happens, you know, off their paper currency. It can happen in days or overnight. Typically when that happens, it's a mandatory swap from old currency to new. But the coins are left in circulation with the same denomination. This means if they drop 1 zero off the currency, these went up 10 times in value. If you drop off 2 zeros, they went up 100 times in value, so forth, so forth. So there you go. That'd be a little bonus. I mean, it's saying hard times, if that happened, worst case scenario, which is unlikely, but you know, it could happen. Hyperinflation hits, you can swap these out and you know, get several times what the paper dollars are going for. I think it'd be better off just to hold on to them, but if you had to, you had to. I'm going to leave the links to Coinflation and Kitco in the description bar. You can check out the present weight per pound on nickel and copper and other base metals, and the value of copper coins at Coinflation. So pros and cons. Pros of U.S. nickels: there's no risk. If metal goes up, you sell them for metal. If the metal goes down, prices go down, you sell them for the face value. You get them for, you can sell them for what you got them for, no, at least bare minimum. Specific weight and purity. You can use them for small day-to-day transactions. Of course, if if hyperinflation hits and there's a bunch of zeros dropped off, well, then they'd increase. And there you go. Cons, they're heavy. They take up a lot of room. You can only get so much out of the country, like U.S. junk silver. And there's a very limited market. You may not be able to sell them at coin shops. I mean, they can go get them for free. Why would they buy them from you? And refineries will not take them. Nickel bullion, they have a higher purity, but they take up a lot of room as well. You can probably sell them at a coin shop, but there's a very limited market. Right? Now, the cons on that would be they're very, very, very expensive. Several times over their metal value. Prices would have to go up several times to just break even. Maybe you can sell them on eBay and get what you paid for them, but you're going to have to pay your, 10% now. Seller fees. So that's something to think about. They're more of a novelty. I mean, if you want to have one for a good luck charm or paperweight or something, yeah, but I wouldn't recommend anything more than that. So we should go over the numbers so I can show you what's going on here. Okay, so I figured we'd go over some math now. I want you to see the numbers and let's really check this out, break it down. So you see what kind of deal you're getting here. So, today, nickel is worth about $4.50 a pound. It's off a few cents, but we'll round it up to make it easy. So, I chose the standard here, $18.15. That'll get you 3 pounds of copper, 1 pound of nickel, right? So today you get $18.15 worth of coins. You're going to have $4.50 in copper. You're going to have $7.50 in nickel. Metal value, $12. Now, yes, you're already down in metal value, but it doesn't really matter because metal prices are down. You sell it for the face value, the same you got it for. It's still worth 5 cents, right? Now, if the metal prices go up, you sell them for the higher metal value. It's risk-free, guys. You can't lose. All right. Now, because they're going to probably discontinue these guys, I did some math and I checked on Wikipedia here, and apparently they've been, what year? 64, 65, something like that. I forget the exact year, but I don't think a year or two make a difference. But anyway, since, I'll just say 65. Since 1965, there have been 54 billion nickels minted, right? We've got roughly 320 million people in the U.S. So if you divide the 54 billion by the 320 million people, you have 168.75. That's you take that and you divide it by the number of coins in a dollar, right? Because there's 20 nickels in a dollar, so you divide that. You get 8.4. $8.4 per person, right? Which is about about 4 rolls each, because there's $2 rolls. So just over 4 rolls per person in the U.S. And nobody's hoarding these suckers right now. So if people were to start hoarding them, they would disappear very quickly. And even if these don't do much for you, besides maybe barter or something, look at what happened with dimes and quarters. Maybe not for you, but your kids or grandkids. Maybe they'll benefit. There's no loss here. If you really are hurting for cash, cash them in, man. If metal goes up, they discontinue this, well, you'll make a lot more. If not, well, somebody just sitting on them, it's not going to hurt you. You know, a couple boxes of these. I pull them from pocket change. I don't think it's a good idea to go and buy boxes, like I said, but in pocket change, that's just fine. Now, let's go into bullion. Give or take, on eBay, nickel bullion is about $12.50 per ounce, plus shipping, right? So, industrial metals, the base metals, are bought and sold by the pound. Precious metals are by the ounce. You got to remember that. So, you've got your standard 16 ounces in a pound. So, if you divide that, $4.50 a pound, which is what nickel is worth, divide that by 16, that ounce of bullion and melt value is, or metal value, however you want to put it, is about 28 cents. But you just paid $12.50 plus shipping. You times that 1250 by 16, you've paid $200 per pound there, plus shipping. That means nickel would have to increase 44 times over to have a chance to break even. So you can see that's not a very good investment, man. So pros and cons of that, I don't think there's really many pros. I mean, the purity is probably the only pro on its side. I mean, it's got a higher metal content, of course, and they take up much less room. But I mean, they're heavy. It's heavy as well. The premiums are super, super, super high. It'd have to go up several times, 44 times, over 44 times to break even. And there's still a very, very limited market. Again, you can see how these guys set you back 5 cents. And it's worth 5 cents. There's no way you can lose. Don't put your money into nickels. Just from your change or maybe a roll or two every so often, right? If you see a silver nickel, war nickel from 42 to 45, put it aside. Then you're up already. And if not, well, just sit on them, man. The metal value will go up. They may be discontinued and start to disappear. So they'll be more scarce and the value will go up. Or worst case scenario, say we hit hyperinflation or something, and you're sitting on these guys. There's a currency destroyed, new one comes in. You swap these out, you know, for a couple times the value if you need to. And there you are. There's no risk, guys. Anyway, hopefully it helps out. Y'all have a good one.